So 2 summers ago, my brother had the opportunity to enter a film into the New York Film Festival, and so we get a chance to go over there and see the finished product and everything. My dad brings his family. My godfather comes along with his wife, both of which had invested in my brother's film. And so we fly out there. The film is well received. Everyone loves it. So we're leaving there, and we're just like, well, let's celebrate. Let's go to the bar next door. So we go to this bar in Hell's Kitchen, New York, and it's a pretty localized bar. As you know, we come to find out, a lot of patrons in there have been coming to that bar like every day, probably for the last 6 years of their lives. So the drinks just start pouring. Everyone's having a great time, commemorating Matt on, congratulating him on the film and everything. And this waitress hadn't been paying attention to us the whole night. My dad just getting frustrated. It's like, man, I'm just trying to order drinks for my son. This new film they just came out with, like, what's the deal? And this waitress is like, you know what my problem is? You're my problem. And she walks away, and my dad's like, man, screw this. So he goes up to the manager and starts telling her, like, look, this waitress is giving us is heckling us, and I don't know what we did. And so by this time, this little guy like taps my dad on the shoulder and says, hey, you're talking shit about Beverly. Beverly has been our waitress for 10 years. We've never had a problem with her. My dad's like, well, do you want to take this outside? And the guy's like, yeah, let's take it outside. And my brother's like, look, this isn't happening. Let's go home. We had a great time. So my godfather and my dad and my brother and myself were leaving the bar, and this guy had gone upstairs to the balcony, I guess, to meet his 3 other friends, and they start trash talking us. And one guy's like, yeah, take your skank with you, looking directly at my godfather's wife. And my godfather just gets up and says, this is not happening. Starts walking back into the bar, and the bouncer's like, no, you're not doing this. You're going home. So we get in the cab, and we drive back, and we just sitting there contemplating. And my dad's just like, man, I would give anything to go back over there and just give those people a piece of my mind, just one opportunity. My brother finally instigates the whole thing and says, all right, you know what? If this is the way it's going to go down, we're going to go over there. Maybe by some act of fate, they just happen to be leaving the bar. So we go over there in a cab, and as we all get out, these 4 guys are leaving the bar. My godfather just gets out and just doesn't even break stride, walks straight up to this guy and just says, hey, you're talking shit about my wife? This is happening. Just clocks this guy in the face, and he falls to the ground, and we're just like, man, what is going on here? It's like, we better get out of here. So I'm trying to rally everyone to get in the cab, and we finally all get in the cab, and I'm looking around like, where the heck is Bob? Bob's got these 2 guys in a headlock, and this third guy's just trying to take shots at him, and I'm just like, man, Bob! Screaming his name, and I run back over there. I throw both of these guys to the ground. I grab Bob, and we get into the cab. And this time, the 4th guy that was laying down on the ground the whole time gets up and comes after my dad for no reason. My dad just trying to get everyone in the cab. And by this time, everyone at the bar just has cameras out, just recording this whole thing. And my dad just like grabs this guy because he's trying to grab him, and just rips his shirt off and just starts punching this guy. So the guy falls to the ground. We get in the cab, and we're finally leaving, and the NYPD cop car lets his sirens go off, and he comes up to the cab, and Godfather's got a shiner in his eye. My dad's got a runny, bloody nose, and the guy just looks at all of us and just says, y'all just get out of here. So the moral of the story is that don't try to start something that you know you can't finish, particularly when you underestimate 2 57-year-old men who are going to have the guts to come back over there and seek confrontation. So needless to say, it was a very interesting experience.